You can't erase what you know. You can't forget who you are. A Writer's Notebook. Unlock the Writer Within You by Ralph Fletcher. Chapter 8. Memories. Memories just may be the most important possession any writer has. As much as anything else, our memories shape what we write. Memories are like a fountain no writer can live without. I believe that my best writing springs from that fountain. As a writer, you need to connect yourself with your own unique history. Claim it as your own. When I graduated from college, I wanted badly to be a writer. I thought I had to have wild adventures so I'd have something to write about. It never occurred to me that locked in my memory, I already had almost everything I would need for my first novel. In my writer's notebook, I often go back, spading into the soil of my past life, trying to unearth the person I once was. When I write about a memory, I try to capture it as honestly and accurately as possible. The first house I really remember was in Marshfield, Massachusetts on Ocean Street. Downstairs, there was a floor heater that took up most of the hallway. The heater got hot, so you had to scrunch against the wall so you wouldn't touch the metal grating when you walked by on bare feet. The kitchen had a linoleum floor. There were 6 large black squares, each with a white square in the middle. At night, after bath time, and just before bed, the 5 kids in our family would sit on the floor. Mom would give us a cookie and a cup of milk. Such a cozy feeling sitting on the floor, each of us in our own square eating a snack before bed. When we came out of the restaurant, I saw a man cutting the grass about 20 feet from our car. The windshield of the car looked like it had a bright round spider web on it. Cracked! Dad swore softly and walked over to the man cutting the lawn. The other man killed the engine. "Did you do that?" Dad asked angrily. He pointed at the windshield. "I don't think so," the man said. "Must have hit a rock or something. Sorry." "Well, someone's going to pay for this," Dad said. I was worried. The man was about Dad's age, but much bigger and stronger looking. On the day I left for college, I packed up the car: sweater, tennis, racket, books. My first stereo system and box of records. Pretty soon, the car was full and there was only room for Dad and me. We would drive together to New Hampshire. Mom would stay back home with other kids. I went to say goodbye to Mom. "Bye," I managed, putting my arms around her. All of a sudden, there was a lump in my throat. "Bye," she replied. Her voice sounded funny, too. I was her firstborn child, and I was leaving home. You notice that as I'm exploring each of these memories in my writing, I pay close attention to the feelings connected to it: cozy, fearful, and sad. Exploring a memory including looking into not only what happened, but also how it affected you then and how it affects you now. In her notebook, 4th grader Sarah Mae Zenner remembers a close friend who moved away. In December, my best friend Connor moved away. We did everything together. We made a treehouse and we found a secret pond. We called it the homework pond because we did our homework there. He moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I used to go swimming with him and go on little adventures. I really miss him. Memories have a way of embedding themselves into special places. They soak into the rugs and sofas and walls and closets. If you want to recover a memory, try describing a place connected to it. Jennifer Young, a 5th grader, does this in the following notebook entry. "By my camp, I'll never forget you." I'll never forget it. We actually sold our camp full of memories, love, fun, and family. We had actually sold our home away from home. There was no turning back. Our camp was no longer ours anymore. The word sold was playing ping pong in my head that whole day. Why did we have to sell it? That place is full of memories. That place is a memory that is now walking in our footsteps, just pushed away behind us. No more Katie. No more Megan, no more Ben. No more concerts for the camp neighborhood. No more being stupid and riding a bike barefoot. No more taking boat rides in the swimming sun. No more swimming in the cool, crisp water. and no more memories to write about. That is everything that went through my mind that day. I will never forget you, my camp. You are truly a legend, a memory, and a friend in my life. I will never forget you. These two writers have explored the range of feelings and images associated with losing a special friend or place. Of course, many of our memories are sunnier than that. This next notebook entry was written by Lauren Kurkowski, a sixth grader. I love its playful tenderness. Shall we dance, Daddy? Every evening when my dad came home from work, before he could say but a mere hello, I would blurt out that one and only famous line of mine, Daddy, shall we dance? I don't know why I bothered to ask after a while because the answer was always yes. Daddy would lift me up and sing, Shall we dance? And he would dance me around the room. What do you remember? What were you like when you were little? What reckless, stupid, funny things did you do? What stories did your relatives endlessly tell you about? What used to terrify you? Did you have a favorite stuffed animal? Blanket? Imaginary friend? Use your notebook to summon and capture the power of your past. Many writers put into their notebooks other things besides words to help them remember. They do this in a way of preserving what they suspect they will later want to recall. What you put in your notebook is up to you, but here are some ideas of what you might include. Drawings and doodlings. Lots of people prefer to express themselves through sketches or drawings. I've seen many notebooks that contain a mixture of writing words and pictures. Artifacts. One fourth grade boy had a particular pen in which he wrote all his favorite stories. When it finally ran out of ink, he taped it inside of the pen into the notebook with the words, Here's my favorite pen. Date died, 5/15/92. On another page, he taped balloon fragments from the unforgettable water balloon fight. Fourth grader Sean McElvray has a page in his notebook entitled Things I Love. He has clipped out photographs from magazines of a rock musician, rollerblades, a hockey stick, and fishing pole, baseball cards, a $100 bill, and taped them into his notebook page. The stuff I taped into my notebook includes tickets of sporting events I attended, autographs, and a backstage pass to a rock concert. Having these objects helps to keep me in touch with the actual experience of a few years ago. I received a letter from the poet Richard Margolius, author of The Secret of a Small Brother. This letter was important to me and I taped it into my notebook as well. Articles. As you read the morning newspaper or flip through a magazine while waiting for your dental appointment, keep your eye out for any intriguing article that catches your eye. Often, you can find an article or a bit of news that could spark an idea for your writing. When I find an article like that, I clip it out or tape it into my notebook. The clippings in my notebook include matters of great personal significance, my grandmother's obituary, important world events, the day Nelson Mandela was freed from jail, the signing of the peace treaty in Bosnia, as well as more playful stuff. Mayor forced to eat 12 pounds of bananas. Mating causes pandemonium. Japan's two giant pandas mated twice at Tokyo's Uno Zoo yesterday, and the country settled back for a 6-month wait to see if they produced their first cub ever born in captivity outside of China. You could look for fallen objects invested in Argentina. A long cylindrical object fell to Earth May 6 and disappeared in the dense jungle near an Argentina-Bolivian border. Argentina newspapers reported yesterday there was no immediate confirmation from NASA. Any one of these articles might later be a catalyst for a story. You can collect photographs. My notebooks contain lots of photographs. Friends, my wife, my kids, the King of Tonga, my son's first school picture, and me. I have one picture of me playing in the sand, and just 2 or 3 at the time sitting in a wooden boat that had no bottom. I see that picture and start thinking of the younger Ralph Fletcher I left behind during my life. A photo like that opened up a whole, almost forgotten world. See, if you can get your hands on some pictures, and when you were younger, Some of the best photos to put in your notebook are the ones that make you uncomfortable. That silly expression you often have, that time you were on stage wearing a bunny costume, you sitting on the lap of your least favorite uncle. Photographs like that often spark the best writing. Here's one tip. Leave space around whatever drawings, artifacts, clippings, or photos you put into your notebook. That way you have room to return to the objects and explore through writing what they mean to you, what memories they dredged up. Using your notebook as a scrapbook can be fun. An artifact like a photograph contains powerful magic to bring a deeply buried memory to surface of your mind. Most of us don't have photographs or videos, but the most important memories of our lives, don't worry, the mind itself has a gigantic storeroom of mental photographs. All you need to do is find a quiet place, close your eyes, and start browsing. A few years ago, I went to East Africa on a camera safari. At the Serengeti National Park, I saw giraffes, zebras, and lions, all living in the wild. I saw flocks of flamingos. I saw a snowy peak of Mount Kilimanjaro rising above the grassy plain. During this trip, I took lots of photographs, but I used my writer's notebook to record some of those things that were impossible to get on film. Staying at camp, something incredible happened last night. It was dark, and I was walking from the building where dinner was being served back to my cabin. All of a sudden, a man appeared. Without a word, he put out his arm to stop me. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then I saw them, wild elephants. I could feel the ground shaking as they moved toward the camp in single file, moving fast in the kind of half trot. I counted 9 adult elephants, one behind the other. The last one was a baby elephant, holding onto its mother's tail, straining to keep up with the others. Standing there, it had been much too dark to take a photograph. Later, with my knees still shaking, I went back to my camp, opened my notebook. Someday, elephants will appear in my poem or story of mine, but for now, I'm more than happy to let them rumble through my notebook until I need them for anything else. A writer's notebook.